Newsfirst at 9. Headlines.
It's Monday, the 28th of April, 2014. A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to News at 9, come to you live from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I'm Joel Outscoon with tonight's headlines. Special Police Unit to inquire into religious affairs declared open. Asad Sali lodges 284 complaints with the new police unit. President arrives in Bahrain on 2-day official visit. Gemstones worth 260 million rupees stolen in Pahala, Kadugannava. Let's now cross over to our Newsfirst studios for a comprehensive news bulletin.
Thank you, Joel. A very good evening from here in the Newsfirst studios. I'm Madhushka Balasurya.
I'm Stephen Lazarus. Let's start off with your top story tonight. Thieves have made off with gemstones worth 260 million rupees belonging to a merchant in Pahala, Kadugannava, Mavanalla. The merchant, who is a resident of Peradeniya, had arrived at a hotel owned by him in Pahala, Kadugannava today with the intention of selling the precious stones. Two buyers and a broker had arrived at a hotel at about 12:30 this afternoon. The police say that one of the buyers had taken 9 of the gemstones on the pretext of examining them prior to purchase, and that the group had then fled in the vehicle they had arrived in. The broker who accompanied the thieves has been arrested, while 6 police teams have been deployed to apprehend the suspects.
We have been informed that 9 gemstones worth 250 million rupees have been stolen. Even though they have given such a statement, we will have to get an estimate on the value from the Gem and Jewellery Authority. It is the owner who has given the initial figure.
Now, in one of our headline-making stories, the Special Police Unit established to investigate incidents with religious connotations was declared open today under the auspices of Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratnam.
The new police unit has been established at the premises of the Ministry of Buddha Sasana and Religious Affairs. Multi-faith religious observances were held at this event. Addressing the media at this occasion, Inspector General of Police N.K. Langakon said that any individual can lodge a complaint with this unit. The main intention of establishing this unit is to ensure that investigations into complaints regarding incidents with religious connotations are expedited and to expedite the process of initiating legal action with regard to these complaints. Complaints can be lodged with this unit via telephone on 0112 307674 and 0112 306694. Complaints can also be lodged via fax on 0112 306688 and 0112 307406.
Now, views were expressed on the establishment of this new police unit at several media briefings convened in the capital today.
The law already exists in this country where the problems that may arise with regard to any organization in any part of the country can be resolved. The existing police can enforce the law. The problem is that they do not act. When religious leaders or anyone else speak about something, if the police go there based on political influences, then the problem cannot be resolved. If this religious police is established and it goes on to act to protect the various Senavas or to support the various Senavas, in the end it will be a fruitless exercise. Religious affairs area sensitive matter. We brought a bill to Parliament regarding this. Through this bill against conversion, a proper legal program was introduced to resolve issues including the establishment of places of worship and religious conflict. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to table this bill in Parliament. In the absence of a proper program, actions like this could eventually lead to the establishment of religious police. We see this as a joke. On one hand, the government is enabling and sponsoring the unofficial police. It is because of this that the official police officers with the stars on their uniforms stand by idly, while the unofficial police act like bullies. We have seen numerous such incidents in the recent past. These people are not arrested. The law is not enforced against them. Against such a backdrop, this action is a joke. Religious coexistence will not be created through this. They have established a police unit with 7 members. What can these 7 officers do? They will be able to record the complaints and collect all the faxes. Is it the government's response to set up a police unit every time something happens?
Leader of the National Unity Front, Asad Sali, visited the special police unit that was established today to lodge several complaints. Asad Sali lodged the complaints with the head of the unit, ASP Ajit Kumar.
We want justice here, but we have no confidence in the police. I have come here today, handed over a document with 284 incidents against the minority Muslim community here. So I hope that this unit will do something to safeguard the interests of the Muslim, Tamil and Christian community, and also the better interests of the Buddhist community.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who left Sri Lanka on a 2-day official visit to Bahrain, arrived in the capital of Bahrain, Manama, this morning.
The President was welcomed in Manama by the Prime Minister of Bahrain, Prince Khalifa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and the Governor of Muharraq, Salman bin Hind. During his visit, the President is slated to hold bilateral talks with the King of Bahrain, Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. The presidential spokesperson and international media unit says that several memorandums of understanding are to be signed by the two leaders during the president's visit. A delegation of prominent members of the Sri Lankan business community are accompanying the president on this visit. A meeting between the delegation and the business community of Bahrain is also to be held during this visit.
Saudi Arabia announced 8 new deaths from the MERS coronavirus, taking the kingdom's death toll from the disease since it was discovered in 2012 to 102. Newsfirst delves deep into the story.
Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, also known as MERS, broke out in a number of Middle East nations in 2012. It is considered a deadlier but less transmissible cousin of the SARS virus, which erupted in Asia in 2003 and infected 8,237 people, 9% of whom died. The World Health Organization says that in the case of the MERS virus, a third of the patients fall prey to the disease. Experts are still struggling to understand the MERS virus, for which there is no vaccine. Symptoms of MERS include fever, cough and respiratory ailments. The World Health Organization announced that it had offered to send international experts to Saudi Arabia to investigate any evolving risk associated with the transmission pattern of the virus. A recent study in Saudi Arabia said that the virus has been extraordinarily common in camels for at least 20 years, and it may have been passed from the animals to humans and has now evolved. The Health Ministry of Saudi Arabia said that the number of recorded infections had risen to 339, with 143 cases announced since the beginning of April, representing a 73% jump in total infections. A total of 16 patients have been infected with the virus during the last 24 hours in Saudi Arabia. The acting health minister has designated 3 hospitals in Riyadh, Jeddah and Dammam on the Gulf Coast as specialist centers for MERS treatment. King Abdullah earlier this week sacked the country's health minister over his handling of the situation. Meanwhile, here in Colombo, a meeting was held at the epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health on the safety and security of Sri Lankans travelling to Middle East countries in light of the MERS virus outbreak.
The Ministry of Health and the Sri Lankan Foreign Employment Bureau held discussions with the epidemiology unit in this regard. The Ministry of Health informed us that a clear program has been undertaken. We will provide our fullest support. So far, no Sri Lankan has been infected with the virus. We have not received any positive cases yet.
The Ministry of Health has focused its attention on preventing any possible outbreak of the virus in Sri Lanka.
We have informed foreign employment agencies and organizations regarding the outbreak. We are also taking steps to inform Sri Lankan expats working in the Middle East about the disease, especially those who intend to visit Sri Lanka. We have asked them to consult a doctor if they have fever or other symptoms. We have taken the necessary immediate steps. If the situation aggravates, we will have to discuss the matter further.
Moving into matters closer to home, the Colombo Municipal Council is focusing its attention on imposing a tax on domestic lavatories in Colombo. According to Colombo Mayor AJ Muzamil, discussions are underway in this regard.
The Asian Development Bank is providing us with over $200 million to develop the sewage system in Colombo. The project will end in 2017. We will also repair the pumping stations and thereby the people will be largely benefited. The government will have to pay the cost. The government has undertaken to pay 80% of the cost, while the remainder 20% will have to be borne by the municipal council. We will inform the public about the service we will render and keep them abreast of all developments. No decision has yet been taken to impose a tax.
The Democratic Party's 10-point manifesto was presented to party members today under the auspices of the party leader, Sarath Fonseca.
The manifesto of the Democratic Party is titled A Light in the Dark, Change You Can Believe In. The manifesto was first presented to the BICO organization affiliated to the party by party leader Sarath Fonseca. After presenting copies of the manifesto to the party membership, Fonseca announced that the manifesto would be released to the media and the public parallel to the Democratic Party's May Day rally.
Through this manifesto, we have made certain promises to the people. The people have always been deceived and left to despair. We have honestly dedicated ourselves to the people and decided to put a stop to the culture of politics where politicians think of their own stomachs. Through this 10-point manifesto, we have shown the path we must follow to have a moral country where Sri Lanka can stand up before the world as a civilized nation with self-respect and a historic culture.
Moving into your weather update for today, the Met Department forecasts that thunder showers will develop in several areas of the western, central, Sabaragamo, Uva and north central provinces and in the Kurunegala, Galle and Mathura districts this evening. The department requests the public to take necessary precautions to prevent lightning-related accidents. Meanwhile, the landslides unit of the National Building Research Organization says that if rain persists in the next 24 hours in landslide-prone areas in Mathura, Ratnapura and Galle, residents of these areas should exercise caution. Let's now take a quick look at the forecast highs for the next 24 hours.
The Newsfirst Sri Lanka Youth Around the World team that is raising awareness on the World Conference on Youth 2014 arrived in Moscow, Russia this evening after concluding their visit to France. The team will conclude their 40-day tour around the world raising awareness on the World Conference on Youth in Colombo, Sri Lanka on the 5th of May.
Around the world in 40 days.
A number of youth representatives participated at a special event that was held at the Italian Embassy in France. The national flag of France was presented to the Around the World team at this event. Subsequently, the group visited one of the symbols of France, the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The 334-meter tall Eiffel Tower was constructed in 1889 as the entrance arc to the World's Fair or Exposition Universelle that was held in Paris. It was named the Eiffel Tower after Gustave Eiffel, whose company designed and built the structure. The tower is the tallest structure in Paris and the most visited paid monument in the world. 6.98 million people ascended it in 2011. The tower received its 250 millionth visitor in 2010. The tower has 3 levels for visitors with restaurants on the first and second. The third level observatory's upper platform is 276 meters above the ground, the highest accessible to the public in the European Union.
And that concludes our journey to Paris, France. The next destination the Around the World team will be traveling to is Moscow in Russia. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara with Yasrat Kamalsari from Paris, France.
Ryan Akalanka, key witness in the murder and rape trial of 6 individuals, including the Tangor Pradesh Sabha chairman Sampath Vidana Patirana, were accused of the murder of British national Khurram Sheikh and the rape of his Russian girlfriend Victoria Alexandrovna, was cross-examined as a hostile witness when the case was taken up in court today. State prosecutor Thusit Mudalige told Judge Rohini Vagama that the witness had made contradictory statements to the Tangor police and during questioning by the CID with regard to the murder investigation. Therefore, the request made by the state prosecutor to cross-examine the witness was granted by the courts. Following the questioning, the state prosecutor's request to remand the witness on the grounds that charges would be filed against him was refused by the judge. The court will reconvene on Wednesday.
Meanwhile, 7 individuals convicted of murder were handed the death sentence by the Nuwara High Court today. The 7 individuals were convicted of a murder committed in Nildandahinna in 1994 following or during an altercation between supporters of 2 political factions. While 9 individuals were indicted on charges of murder, 2 of them had died during the course of the trial. The police said that 5 brothers from 2 families are among those who were convicted in the trial.
Family Health Services officers or midwives in the Kurunegala district staged a demonstration yet again today against the non-provision of equipment for them to carry out labour room services at hospitals in the district.
The president of the Government Midwifery Service Association, Devika Kodithuaku, also took part in this demonstration opposite the Kurunegala Teaching Hospital. Midwives state that if they are not provided with labour room equipment, they are prepared to purchase the equipment and report for duty.
The Kurunegala Teaching Hospital is not providing us with the necessary equipment for labour room services. We have informed the director and health officials over this matter, yet there is no response.
The
midwives at the Kuliyapitiya Hospital are facing numerous difficulties. A situation has arisen where the nurses and all the other officers are working against us. They are not providing us with equipment and are not permitting us to enter wards.
Nurses at the hospital responded to this demonstration in this manner.
We are staging this demonstration as a trade union action. From tomorrow, all the midwives will purchase the labour room kits personally and will use them during labour and ensure that it is done carefully.
Newsfirst contacted the director of the hospital regarding the new measure that the midwives are resorting to.
I don't think it is practically possible to purchase separate equipment and use it here. However, if such a situation does arise, that will require permission from the Ministry of Health. They will be permitted to do so only if there is permission.
The hunger strike and protest against the principal of the Mamadala Vidyalaya in Ambalantota continued for a 6th day today. Parents of the students at the school staged a demonstration opposite the school, obstructing vehicular movement this morning. Although education authorities attempted to escort a few of the demonstrating parents to the Hambantota Zonal Education Office for discussions, the protesting parents objected to this. They pointed out that the discussion needs to be held with the presence of all the parents demonstrating opposite the school for a solution to be reached. Subsequently, education authorities arrived at the scene and held discussions with the parents, informing them that measures will be taken to appoint a new principal to the school. Our correspondent covering the protest said that the staff of the school was called to the zonal education office subsequent to the discussion with the parents.
The secretary has instructed me to resolve this issue. The transit that was annulled will be reversed. Inform this to the school. If there are parents on the road, we need to think from the children point of view, and therefore we call for a discussion with the staff and also those in favor and those against. We made all them realize what sort of situation the children will have to face if the school is made helpless. We requested the support of all to proceed.
Staying in local news, a woman was killed and 7 others injured in an accident involving a bus in the Halpe area in Alla Bandaravela. The police say that the bus was travelling from Badulla to Colombo when it veered off the road and toppled. The injured have been admitted to the Modara and Badulla hospitals.
Deputy Minister of Finance and Senior Minister Dr. Sa Thamunugama says that it is the intention of the government to bring back interest rates to 8%. The Senior Minister made this statement during the opening of an apparel factory in Nugavela, Kandy.
You may remember that there was a time when you had to obtain loans at an interest rate of 20% to do business. This was very difficult and it was difficult to make your business successful. Now it has reduced to about 12%. We hope to bring it down to 8%. In truth, it could be even lowered further. But we have a problem because the pensioners and people who have invested do not want to take an interest rate of 6 or 7%. They are asking for 20 to 30% because they need benefits for the work they have done. So the government is trapped in this matter.
Analysts say that India's ruling Congress party has turned to its last Gandhi to save it from humiliation in what is expected to be the party's first general election defeat for 15 years. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, the daughter of the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, joined the election trial last week amid a growing clamour for her to succeed her brother Rahul Gandhi as the party's campaign leader.
In one of her most scathing attacks this election season, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra called leaders of the main opposition Bharatiya Janata Party quote-unquote panic-stricken rats after they released a video against her husband Robert Vadra. The granddaughter of India's first woman Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was addressing a rally in northern Raebareli town in Uttar Pradesh province when she lashed out at the BJP for releasing a video and a booklet alleging that land deals of her husband Robert Vadra were marred by corruption. The BJP leaders are running like panic-stricken rats. I knew before polling that they would repeat their lies once again, and there's nothing new in it. Let them do it. I'm not scared of them or anyone else. I will continue to stand up against their shameless, pessimistic, destructive politics. Let them do more. I'm waiting for them. Priyanka's comments come amid persistent calls for Congress elders and that she plays a great role in reviving the fortune of the 129-year-old party that an opinion poll suggested was set for a spectacular defeat. Meanwhile, the Prime Ministerial candidate of India's main opposition, Bharatiya Janata Party, Narendra Modi, mocked the ruling Congress party, saying it is contesting elections with only one agenda, and that is to quote-unquote stop Modi. Modi was speaking at an election rally in Serampore city in the eastern province of West Bengal yesterday.
In Delhi, the Congress party is not playing politics to win the elections, nor are they contesting elections to save their government. It is forming alliances and doing anything possible with just one aim, and that is to stop Modi from coming to power.
Many political pundits are hailing Priyanka Gandhi's revival on the election stage as a renaissance for the ruling Congress party. But can she pose a threat to the BJP powerhouse of Narendra Modi? We have been covering the proceedings of the Indian general elections since the poll dates were announced.
We have our correspondent placed across the subcontinent. Joining us now is Newsfirst Delhi correspondent A. Valmathi with more details.
Ms. Priyanka Gandhi has got much more media attention than her mother and brother could harness. It is certain that her campaign has certainly raised the spirits of Congress leaders. However, there are no strong indications of how the people feel about Ms. Priyanka Gandhi's promises and the takes on BJP. Priyanka Gandhi's campaign at the last lap of the election has certainly given a boost to the overall attack against Mr. Narendra Modi from different quarters.
Starting off your sports news tonight with boxing. Boxers from 11 countries squared off at the Sugatadasa Indoor Stadium in Colombo as the Lions Cup International Boxing Tournament 2014 unfolded today. The 4 Sri Lankans who competed today qualified for the semi-finals. Newsfirst, MTV MBC are the media sponsors of the event.
Lions Cup, the first of its kind to be hosted by Sri Lanka, is organised by the Amateur Boxing Association of Sri Lanka. 11 countries, namely Australia, Belgium, Chinese Taipei, Indonesia, South Korea, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Kenya and host nation Sri Lanka will be in action in the ring with over 70 international boxers vying for victory. The tournament will go until the 2nd of May. Chairman of the tournament committee, Dan Gomez, said that this tournament can be considered as a preparation for the Commonwealth Games. What's most significant is that Sri Lanka has put forward 2 teams, namely A and B, to compete in the tournament. Anuradha Ratnayaka captains the Sri Lanka A team while Suresh Hettiarachchi captains the B team. Among the Sri Lankan boxers vying for the title are Anuradha Ratnayaka, Manju Wanyarachchi and Anusha Kodituaku. The final will be telecast live on Friday from 3 p.m. onwards on Sirasa TV.
The Sri Lanka national cricket team engaged in practices at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo today ahead of their tour of Ireland and England.
This will be Lahiri Thirimanne's first tour since being appointed vice-captain of the team. Rookies Niroshan Dikwella and Chaturanga De Silva have also been included in the squad for this tour as a wicket-keeper and right-arm medium-pace bowler. Sri Lanka will take on Ireland in 2 ODIs in Dublin on the 6th and the 8th of May.
We will be fielding a young team in Ireland. They are engaged in training at present. Mahamanatha Pattu and Ruan Kalpage have assumed duties as head coach and assistant coach respectively. We are hoping to field a young team for the 2 one-day games under Angela Matthews.
Following the tour of Ireland, Sri Lanka commenced their tour of England with 3 warm-up fixtures against country teams Essex, Kent and Sussex. Sri Lanka will then take on England in T20 internationals at Kennington Oval before the 5 ODI series, which will commence on the 22nd. Following a 3-day warm-up match, Sri Lanka will take on England in 2 tests, the first of which will work off on the 12th of June at the historic Lord's Cricket Ground.
I think 4 experienced players will not be participating in the matches against Ireland, but we have many talented rookies on the sidelines. We will give the rookies an opportunity against Ireland and hope to win the games.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of Primetime News. I'm Madhushka Balasuriya.
I'm Stephanie Lazarus. It was a pleasure having you with us. Take care and good night.
Good night.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.